What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing my match reaction, match review and match analysis of Manchester City's emphatic 6-0 away victory against Ipswich Town away from home at Portman Road. Before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. That would be much appreciated, and do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag, who have got a very special deal running for you guys, where you can pick up the Manchester City 2024-2025 home shirt for less than £40. Links and details there in the description. Do go and check them out, and a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring today's video. So it was pretty slick, that, from Manchester City. Some scintillating football, all too easy. Manchester City at their complete dominant best, and to be honest, we've just not seen that all that often from Manchester City this season. And I would go as far to suggest that these are the kind of performances that Manchester City not only would come to expect, but also the classic Manchester City performance when we reach the business end of the season. Now, I imagine that Liverpool are going to run away with the Premier League. I'm not thinking about Manchester City trying to launch some kind of title bid, because realistically, Man City need to win every game between now and the end of the season to launch some kind of title bid. And with how we've been playing, bar the exception of this game, Manchester City have been underwhelming at times, and Manchester City just, to me, don't quite have what they need as of yet during this little transition period. And I'm not going to sit here and be blinded by one brilliant result and performance to say that Manchester City are fully back. I want to see Manchester City and what we can do on Wednesday evening away in Paris under a heap of pressure against another team who are in near enough the same position than us in the Champions League, who are also under an incredible amount of pressure. And if City can go to Paris and replicate a similar performance and a similar result, then I might start to think to myself, actually, Manchester City are just slowly starting to gel and adapt to themselves. Now, this isn't me being negative, this is just me being realistic. But what we are looking at the business end of the season for City is we want Champions League football next season. We're spending a heck of a lot of money to bring some new players in, defenders, Kusanov and Hayes. They're going to be joining Manchester City. Omar Marmoush, a lot of money's been spent to bring him in as well. And there's potentially going to be more incomings for Manchester City between now and transfer deadline day. They've committed to put Erling Haaland on a near 10-year contract. A lot of money is being invested by Manchester City right now, and that is to ensure that the future is bright and the future is blue. And part of that future of being able to complete this transition that we're going to go through is to ensure that we're bringing in the creme de la creme of high quality players from around the world. And to be able to do that, you need Champions League football. And Man City recognise the importance of ensuring that we finish in the top 4 to guarantee Champions League football for next season. And I have maintained to myself, ever since this bad run of form has started towards the end of October and right through into November and December, and still starting to turn things around here into January and into 2025, the ambition for Manchester City has to change, and it has to be finishing the top 4. And if you were to say to me, and I'm sticking to this right now, if Man City are told that they're going to finish in the top 4 come the end of the season, then I'm going to be delighted with that. With the start that we had, it was great. We were competing right at the top, and the form dipped. It wasn't 2 or 3 games. It went on for 13, 14 games. It becomes very difficult to be able to finish in the top 4 when you've got form like that. So to be able to put ourselves in a position where right now we're sitting in the top 4 and Chelsea have got to play tomorrow, who are under pressure, and we've got to play Chelsea again next weekend at the Etihad Stadium. There's some big high pressure games coming for Manchester City, and a perfect opportunity for us to prove some points to the doubters out there, to showcase that we are serious about achieving our goals. And what we want to do now is we've picked up a brilliant away win with a brilliant performance, a clean sheet, follow it up with a solid win in Paris. We can do that and follow it up with a win at the Etihad Stadium as well. Then all of a sudden, things are looking much, much brighter. Bringing in 3 high-quality players, young players as well, into the squad to provide more depth for the team is going to go a long way. Hungry players, players who haven't won all that many trophies, who do have a point to prove as well, just going to give us that nice little competitive edge, and we can start to look up and we can start to look forward rather than looking back on past success and looking down and thinking, oh, we're looking over our shoulder. Teams in 7th, 8th, 9th place are sensing the opportunity and smelling blood on Manchester City to be able to propel us down rather than going up. And this performance here with City, there was under a lot of pressure. We saw Bournemouth win against Newcastle yesterday away from home. We were down in 8th place. We had a point to prove here, and we've managed to climb our way with a really good win, taking the goal difference, turning it all around and sitting in the top 4 right now. It is a brilliant, brilliant performance from Manchester City, who did more than what they needed to do to win this game, making a statement win. Much, much better from Manchester City. Now, I did have concerns when I saw the team selection come out. There wasn't a lot of legs in Manchester City's midfield. Kovacic, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne. All of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, this midfield's going to get overran, but I don't think Ipswich had the quality in midfield to cause Manchester City too many problems, and that was well recognised by Manchester City, who have chosen just to rest 1 or 2 players, maybe with one eye on the Champions League. But I'm almost certainly convinced here that Man City are actually thinking about, we're playing every 3 to 4 days now for the next few weeks, so that means we've got to manage our squad depth. And we know with Champions League games coming up, we're bringing the new additions in. They can't be registered until after this league stage is finished, which means the players can't play in the Champions League as far as I'm aware. So that means you need to have fresh players. So you're more likely to see the likes of Omar Marmoush and Kusanov and Hayes, if he's available for City, in the Premier League over the coming weeks, because you're not going to see them in the Champions League, which means you've got to just keep players nice and fresh for the Champions League, because it's not a gimme. Away in Paris, not a gimme. We lose that game. We're under a lot of pressure. Home game against Bruges, it'll be a must-win game, or we go out of the Champions League. That's how serious things are right now. So squad management is key. And City have sensed that opportunity and done the changes that were needed and enough to come out, win this game and win it convincingly as well. So kudos, a bit of genius there from Pep Guardiola and his staff. Brilliant performance from Phil Foden. I'm being serious when I say this, that City really could have, if they wanted to, score even more than 6 goals if we'd been really, really clinical. And we were clinical with some of them opportunities, in particular in the second half, very clinical, but it could have been even worse for Ipswich. They were open, and Manchester City were happy to oblige. All they needed to do was ensure that they were being clinical in front of goal, and that was enough to score the goals and win the game. And I mentioned about the game against Brentford midweek, the difficulty Man City were having with being able to manage a football game, and in particular the danger of a 2-0 scoreline, because City are more than capable of going 1-0 up. We're more than capable of doubling our lead and getting that killer 2-goal cushion, but 2-0 is a very dangerous scoreline. They score again, it goes 3-0 and the game's near enough done, bar that little blip that we had against Feyenoord, which, touch wood, that won't ever happen again. That Manchester City have learnt their lessons and it'll be enough. But the good thing and the really positive thing I took away from this is it didn't stop at 3, didn't stop at 4, didn't stop at 5, stopped at 6. You manage a game by being 6-0 up. Your opponents are done and dusted. There's no coming back. You're 6-0 down. There's no motivation. All they want to hear is the referee blowing his full-time whistle. That clock's going very slowly. That's how you manage a football game. You completely annihilate your opposition. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going until that game is dead and buried. Now, teams are capable of coming back, particularly in the Premier League, because we've got quality players, of overturning 2 goals very quickly. Champions League and Premier League have proven that they can overturn 3. So what you've got to be looking for is just score a goal, go for the next one, score a goal, go for the next one, and keep going until you look at the score line and you think, boom, this game is done. They're not coming back. There's no way that they come back. Teams aren't coming back from 6-0 down. It's not going to happen. So that's what Man City need to be aiming for. That's what I'm thinking now, heading into PSG. Team full of confidence, scoring goals, creating opportunities, kept a clean sheet, take that good form with good mentality, with fresh legs ready to come in for Chelsea as well, with new players being brought in. Take that positive mental attitude, and that's how we approach PSG and see if we can go out, score the first goal and put them under even more pressure, in the hope that they're going to get desperate, leave gaps left, right and centre like Ipswich did today, and you just pick them off one by one by one and be clinical. Because if you are, you're more than capable of going and picking up not just a win, but to be able to pick up a really, really good scoreline win from that game as well. And that's, to me, what City have to be striving towards, because that's the best way for us to manage games and pick up 3 points. So long may it continue. Phil Foden, as I said, excellent, really starting to find his form, clinical in front of goal. He's been a real nuisance, and I'm going to give a lot of praise for Erling Haaland because he's dropping a little bit deeper. He's bringing defenders out, and someone as technically gifted as Phil Foden's going to cause bother. How good was Doku and the link-up play with him and Kevin De Bruyne in being able to pull strings just behind Phil Foden and on that left-hand side as well, made Manchester City's game there very enjoyable. So I'm now thinking to myself against PSG, do you go with Savinho or do you go with Jeremy Doku? There is a selection headache there. So kudos there to Jeremy Doku, whose end product seems to be improving this season. He seems a little more determined as well, which is really good to see. Elsewhere, Ederson keeping a clean sheet, making a couple of important saves. His distribution reassured me so much that I want him to start now. I think he deserves to start against PSG, and we'll see where we go from there. And in defence, Nathan Ake's got another, I presume, niggling little injury. It's going to be a repeat of that throughout the season. It's why we're signing Hayes. It's why we're bringing in Kusanov, just to help with the numbers there, that the likes of Stones and Ake can be given enough recovery time that these reoccurring injuries don't keep reoccurring. And the same will be said with Ruben Dias and Manuel Akanji, who've been a little bit more injury prone than normal due to the fixture schedules and the amount of games. So that's why City are looking for depth. But for me, things are looking up and up. What we do need to be wary of is making sure that, I know our midfield was really old and it wasn't overran today. There are teams out there who are more than capable of overrunning that midfield, and we've got to be really wary of that. I'm sure Pep Guardiola is a smart bloke. He'll be more than aware of that, and we'll be having a good look at central defensive midfielders. I don't want us to be papering over cracks. We do need a central defensive midfielder. We don't have Rodri for the season, so we need that short-term fix to try and help us going forward. If we could go for a long-term solution in this window, that could be a real good bit of business, in particular if we get that signing right. But I'm very happy. 6-0 win, 3 points, we're in the top 4. City win, United lose. City, you got me singing the blues. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag. Remember, you can go and check out the City 2024-2025 home shirt. It's less than £40. Links and details there in the description, and a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.